Hey, my name is Saive, and today I'm going to show you my latest release, Sign, which is out now. And we are going to dig through the drums and the melodic parts. And yes, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. For the drums, I started using a kick drum. It's from the Polaroid sample kit. I took out the highs and used the LFO tool to shape the low end, which was quite long, and then used this layer to give it some more high end. Together it sounds like this. Then I use some processing. Decapitator is always good for kick drums. For the drums, I've used a tom, which plays this groove. And it consists of two layers. One of these is this one. It sounds very analog, and I don't know what it is anymore, but I think it was a field recording, and I used a one-shot sample from the field recording to give it a very organic feel. Then I layered it with a more deeper tom sound, which you can hear now. Also, I did some processing here, decapitator, EQ8, delay. This one is used for giving it some side effect. Then we got an offset. There's also some processing on it. I will turn it off now so you can hear how it sounds without the processing. Very harsh and didn't reflect the goal I was aiming for, so I used the drum bass, erosion, some filter, and transient shaper to take down the attack in this case. Used the plate reverb to push it a little bit back in the room. And yeah, that's it. Then I got a clap, which sounds very organic in this case. The group is also processed with the decapitator. I'm taking out some highs. There's also some filter automation. It always makes sense to use the auto filter throughout your song, especially in the breakdown, to filter in the claps quite slowly, filtering it out in the outro. In this case, I decided to turn off the clap in the outro, but I think in the first place I had them turned on at this section. It consists of two layers. The first one sounds like this. Some decapitator, EQing, and also plate. And this one is a little bit more harsh. Then I got a top loop. This top loop sounds very organic. It's made from many Foley sounds, and yes, it gives the whole drum groove some more rhythm. And then we got some Foley sounds as well. Another snare loop. And the seeds shaker, which is quite a main part of the song. That's it for the drums. In this section, I wanted to create some variation and added another shaker. Then I created a Foley fill. It sounds like this. Then in this section I also added a closed head. And a right as well. And also here are some wood percussions. And together it sounds like this. Then sometimes I use the Valhalla reverb to create some transitions. Here it's going up. And also this little tool. We are going to take a listen. It's made with the Roland SH2 plugin. It sounds very deep and very similar to the analog one. And I like to use a lower layer, which is mostly playing in the sub area. And this one is the upper layer. So in this case, I'm doing the opposite, removing the lows and keeping the upper harmonies. In the second drop, I wanted to create some variation. So I decided to use, instead of legato notes, 8th notes or 16th notes. I'm not sure right now. The bass is consisting here of 2 layers as well. It's the same principle. And as you can see here, also quite a few automations of the decay time, cutoff time, and also using the utility gain plugin of Ableton. That's it for the bass. Now we are going to take a look into the music group. Here you can see the group processing as well. In this case, I decided to make most of the sidechaining on the groupers instead of the separated stems, to keep everything a bit simpler. So I decided also to split them a half to the main synth and the secondary synth. The main synth are sounding like this. Sounds a bit chaotic and also a bit dystopian. That's what I was going for. And so for the melody, I'm not sure how I did it anymore, but I guess I was just playing around with the synth plugin. And then after I got a sound which I quite liked, I used only this chop sample and pitched it up and down to play the melody. So as you can see, the pitch is always different. So I'm just playing the melody with the same sample because I like the sound of it. Here I reversed this sample to create a very unique sound. and it helps also to introduce to the melody. It's just pitched up by 7 semitones. This one was used to enhance the overall melody, and maybe it's also good to have something different in the second drop because it would be the exact same drop otherwise. As you can see, it's made with the Tal plugin, and yeah, just some sound design decisions. They don't really make sense for some people, but it's something you come up when you work on a specific sound, and then I stick to it. So now we are going to look into the secondary part. Here are most of the chords in it, and also a lot of atmospheric sounds. The chords are right here, and those were written, of course, at first because they kind of create the foundation of the song, and they sound like this. Okay, it's actually just consisting of 4 chords. So instead of using only one piano plugin, I tried recently to use several plugins and layer them to create a more realistic piano sound, and also piano sound that's not everyone using. And afterwards I got here the chords by the Diva plate. It sounds like this. Together with the piano, it sounds like this. In most cases, the other sounds are just working like ear candy. So for example, I got here those vocal sounds. They were recreated by using Power Stretch. It's a stretching plugin, and you can just put in a sound and it can stretch it up to, I don't know, till infinity. And you can create very interesting sounds with it. This one is almost playing like throughout the whole song. Then in the breakdown, I also got this kind of piano sound. In this case, instead of using new chords or finding another rhythm, I just used different sounds to recreate the piano chords and layered it with different. Then I got this pad here. This pad is playing the same chords like the piano. Then I added this melody. It's very atmospheric as well. Then I added this piano up. And yes, to spice it up a bit, I found the sample, which creates some variation and it keeps everything a bit more interesting. Vocal sample itself sounded a bit weird, I think.
Falling back in line, but I don't wanna leave your love behind. Maybe I'm waiting for a sign.
But when I played the sample, I knew it would fit totally in the song, just chopping it up so the text is a bit slower and also using a lot of reverb creates the variation I need and makes it much better in the mix. Then I also used some FX sounds with the vocal. Then, of course, I needed some FX sounds, just a riser. And this, so we are going to take another listen from the background till the first drop. I hoped it helped you a lot and you could learn something. If you have some questions, don't forget to leave them in the comments or write me on Instagram, and I will hopefully can help you out. And see you soon. Bye.